Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com, and I'm here with Greg from Swim the Current. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Michael. How are you?
Good to have you. So you want to tell us a little about the band?
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? There's really not much to say about it other than that I formed, my solo project about a year ago. So what I did was I moved back home to my mother's house. I lost my father, but in between all that, I moved back home, but I moved out to my shed. Now I live in a 10 by 16 tiny little house. I put $5,000 into it. I live here full time. And I turned it into, a makeshift studio / home to live in. And I spend all my time here, a majority of my time, in between working, playing in my various other projects. And I spend a lot of time with Swim the Current. I mean, meaning I put a lot of time and effort into what I do here. And, the main focus is to put all my energy into, putting out the best possible quality music that I can. And I want to feature a different artist on every track. I know a lot of artists throughout my years of playing in bands, jamming with other people, and that's the whole goal or the main focus of Swim the Current. I want to have fun, just have fun. I'm older now. Back in the 90s, I've always wanted to get signed, have fun, go out there. Yeah. It doesn't happen like that anymore, which is fine. I just want to have fun and jam with my friends.
Yeah, I can tell there's a lot of emotions, especially to track temperature maps. There's so much emotion. You want to tell us a little about that song?
Yeah, well, here's how it came to be. Again, I'm here constantly, throughout my day, throughout my time. I'm just demoing ideas, getting ideas together, making sure everything sounds good to my ear, to my heart. I want to connect all that within all the same sense. And, that song came to be like in a different way because I started off with a symphonic, high-pitched guitar sound. And I'm like, you know what? Perhaps the Tears for Fears vibe would actually, make the song flow. So I kind of like built it around one little guitar loop and just kept a drum loop going the whole time. And then from there, I just took, the melodies, kind of just like build layers upon layers upon layers. And, and it came to be. And then from there, I said, you know what? Let me contact my good friend, Greg Christie. I've known him for a very long time. He's a great guy. And I said, you know what, man, you'd be #1 on this song. I've wanted him for a long time to be involved with what I'm doing here now within this whole 1 year process of putting together Swim the Current. So I said, you know what, hey man, let me give him a call. So I sent him the track. He liked it, laid down the vocal, laid down the melody. And I said, here's the deal. I'm not going to critique you, man. Have a good time with it. Be you. I know what you can do. Have fun with it. And that's the way you're going to put out your best music ever, And that's pretty much how that went. So, I did everything here. I recorded all the instruments. I don't do WAV files. So what I did was I sent the final track to my my video producer, and he said, you know what, Greg, I can just run that through a mastering track just to enhance the quality, just to make it sound good. I said, that's fine. That's all I need because I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it pure. I want to keep it real. And that's pretty much it. No enhancements, just raw emotion, goodness, man. That's all. That's it. So that's how it came to be.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, all these tracks are one take. That's how I rock and roll. I just go in, and what I have is I use right here. Pull it off. This is all I use.
Wow.
This is it. It's a digital 8-track. Plug in. Have fun with it. I don't have like the big, huge board or whatever. I mean, who does anymore? technology, everything's, you know, a little more simplified. But I just keep it simple. You know, I sit right here in a small little area and just have fun. And that's my whole goal, my game plan.
Cool. Now, I know you mentioned you want to have different artists on different tracks. Do you have any artists in mind you'd like to work with?
Actually, yes. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a few other songs at the moment for Swim the Current that are in the works. Good friend of mine, his name is Jay, from the band Dragpipe. They were signed to Interscope Records back in the early 2000s. Great guy. He's working on 2 songs right now. You know what I mean? Jimmy Ivins from Revolt, which I'm in that band as well. He's going to be featured on 2 other tracks of mine. A good friend of mine, Dan Caputo, from a very good band, Negative Sky, is going to be featured on a track with Jimmy from Revolt on a Swim the Current track in the near future. And Greg Christie, again, he's going to be featured on another song of mine as well. So, you know, at the moment, like there's a few things in the works, you know, going on with my good friends from the tri-state area.
Now, being in Revolt too, how do you think that influences this project here?
Not at all. It doesn't even influence it, because that's a whole nother ball game in itself. Because what happens is when we are together, you have Tuck, you have Chris, you have my brother Mike, who's the drummer, and you have Jimmy, who's the singer and guitar player as well. When we're together, we blend. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been in a band or anything, but the chemistry is just, it's like Wonder Twin powers activate, man. Everything is solid, connected form. And it's a whole different animal. It's a whole different, you know, genre of music. It's heavier. It shows our heavier side. But again, it shows our emotional side as well, you know, within that. And we just blend well together. Everybody's on the same page, you know, musically, you know, as far as putting together compositions. I think everybody's together, and that's why we put out a, you know, very good product at the end of the day.
Now, when this whole quarantine time's over in lockdown, do you plan on doing some live shows with Swim the Current?
You know what? Yes, I would love to. I mean, again, getting back to Slave Revolt, we were in the process of putting together some live shows. So that would be first on the table. I mean, that's number one. Number two would be, like, as far as Swim the Current is concerned, I want to put together a whole collection of songs, and in time to come, you know, I mean, I don't want to have 150 people on stage, but you know, maybe 125. But I want to have like a whole good group of my friends on stage, you know, and just maybe hire out like a session musician or whatever, you know, to be on stage to accompany the music, and just to have my guest, you know, vocalists come on one at a time for each song. Awesome. You know, almost like a compilation kind of thing, you know.
Cool. Now, if people want to find you online, look up the music, how do they do that?
Very easy. I mean, at this point, I'm still working on Spotify. You know, I know there's a fee for, like, you know, 10, 14, 15 bucks a month. I mean, I might as well do it, but I'm not on Spotify yet. But, you know, Facebook, of course, Twitter, YouTube, or Instagram at this point. Cool.
Now, being from the tri-state area, do you expect to expand Swim the Current, like do a full U.S. run eventually?
You know, it's a good question. I haven't thought about that yet, Michael. I mean, at this point, I just want to keep on recording and just, you know, bringing in my good friends as far as vocalists who are going to be featured on every track. We're going to take it one step at a time. You know, I'm very happy to have Allison in my corner. She's phenomenal. She does a great job. She knows what she's doing, and she knows how to market, where to put everything in its place. So, you know, I'm trying to put everything in its place as we go, you know. So, I mean, Allison is a key component. So we're going to take it from there.
And when would your next music release be? Do you have any plans of releasing new music soon?
That's you know what, Michael, that's a good question as well. Like I said, I have 3 other songs that are in the mix right now, that are in the making. A good friend of mine, Joe Guerreri, who's a phenomenal guitar player, will be, incorporating a very great ambient part to one of my songs, accompanied by a guitar solo. That may or may not be the next release, depending on, again, with the quarantine going on. I'm sending everything out to different producers as we go. So whoever comes, through with everything first, that will be the next release. Like I'm working on my next song with Greg Christie would be entitled Gravity, which is a very good song. It kind of has like a Smashing Pumpkins kind of feel to it, which, that's where I'm from. I'm from that area, from that time. It's really good. I have a producer who lives upstate, up North Jersey. His name is Rich Sarnicola, great guy. He'll be, taking care of all that. And then when he gets that back to me, that may or may not be the next one to be put out. But at this point, the one that Joe Guerreri will be on with Dan Caputo and Jim Ivins from Slade Revolt and Negative Sky, that may or may not be the next one. Who knows? Depends on which one comes in first.
The name Swim the Current, how did you come up with that?
Another good question. I that just came to my mind, Michael. That just came out of the blue, as a matter of fact. I live on the beach here, swim the current, apropos for where I live, it's just kind of works. Nothing too extravagant, not really a compound word, but swim the current. It just came to my mind one day and it worked out. I mean, it just sounds good to me. And, kind of just defines, my life, my surroundings. There's really nothing to it.
I like the name. It's a cool name. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Michael. Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of catchy in its own way. It's more or less a little bit solidified. It's not too long, not too short. And, you can make it look good too.
Yeah.
Write it down,
Yeah. Well, it was good talking with you and having you, and everyone looked them up.